gur magad tá áthas orm lortir an mille seo aniu ach níl gá don mille seo in éon chur mar rinne an rialtas boltún se fóideach agus de bharr sin tá oring an mille seo a chur os cór an rialtas aniu. De bharr an bhotún a rinne an rialtas tá postanna in Mhail agus tá sé ag chur éilimh se fóideach tithe tarna agus bíalanna fud an stát seo. This motion, while important, should not have been necessary. It seeks to rescind the statutory instrument introduced last week in the name of the Minister for Health. Like so many other self-inflicted wounds and communication disasters by this government, all the statutory instrument has done is to take away time and energy from our focus or our ability to focus on actual problems that need urgent attention. There are grave and indeed growing problems that we should be talking about here today. The increases in rents, the lack of affordable accommodation, the paralysis in health and the forestry sectors, flooding within regions, including along the Shannon, and the difficulties in the agricultural sector with the onset of Brexit. But no, instead here today we are trying to talk sense into a government that appears capable of speaking nonsense on this particular issue. The statutory instrument was an answer to a question nobody asked. It was yet again a totally unnecessary measure. As Pat Leahy of the Irish Times put it, the Criminal Enforcement Bill, which was debated here last week, was nothing more than what he termed performative politics. The exact same could be said for the instrument we are seeking to have annulled here today. The instrument looks like a meaningful gesture. It sounds like a meaningful gesture, but in reality it's nothing short of absurd. The reaction from the sectors and the industries most impacted has been scathing. Hotels in my own constituency remain at a loss in terms of how they are supposed to understand the rationale behind the capacity and guest limits that have now been established. There is no clear sense that the government understands the day-to-day operational realities that many hotels face, and these hotels are major local employers. But the government has not listened to them and hasn't asked for their experience. Has the Minister said at any time, you know what, perhaps those who have spent lifetimes working in the sector actually know something? The answer is no, of course. Instead, the government has doubled down like the description of the Bourbon dynasty. This government has learned nothing and have forgotten nothing. They actively persist in clearly wrong-headed policies because they do not have the humility or perhaps even the capacity to admit a mistake that may yet end up causing job losses and closures in Laois, Offaly and constituencies beyond. Many are now actively considering if there is a genuine vendetta against pubs, hotels and restaurants. At one time we would have put such remarks down to an excess of imagination, but now it is not so easy to dismiss these concerns. The official government line is that it wants to see hotels, restaurants and pubs fully operational and open. But now this week we have seen even more so-called guidance down to the kind of decorative umbrellas pubs should not use on cocktail drinks. This kind of nonsense only serves to highlight the deeply patronising stance that government has, perhaps unwittingly, adopted towards the sector.